So was a recent social media post a green light for prosecutions? Because here's what just happened. On Saturday, September 20th, President Trump posted on social media calling on Attorney General Pam Bondi to take action. In all caps, he wrote, "Justice must be served now." Then he named 3 people he wanted prosecuted: James Comey, Adam Schiff, and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Now, just days later, the Department of Justice is reportedly preparing to ask a grand jury in the Eastern District of Virginia to indict James Comey, allegedly for making false statements during his testimony to Congress back in 2020. The statute of limitations runs out on Tuesday. According to the Associated Press, the DOJ wants to move as soon as this week. And here's where the timeline gets important. The DOJ's own internal memo reportedly raised concerns about the strength of the case. ABC News says prosecutors and investigators recommended against charging Comey at all, saying the evidence didn't meet the bar for probable cause. But after Trump's post, and after he replaced the U.S. attorney in Virginia with Lindsay Halligan, a White House aide who also served as his personal lawyer, the case is moving toward a grand jury anyway. That raises a serious constitutional concern. Yes, prosecutions fall under the executive branch, but the rule of law demands decisions based on facts, not presidential pressure. The Department of Justice has rules limiting White House contact with active investigations. It has long relied on internal norms, not just statutes, to protect against political interference. Because when the appearance of justice is compromised, trust in the entire system begins to unravel. The founders warned us. Alexander Hamilton in Federalist 70 said, "The presidency must be both energetic and safe. Energy to enforce the law, safety through accountability." James Madison in Federalist 51 wrote that ambition must be made to counteract ambition. That's why we have checks and balances, independent courts, professional prosecutors, grand juries. Additionally, history offers us more warnings. In 1798, John Adams used the Sedition Act to prosecute journalists and lawmakers who opposed him. In 1973, Nixon tried to fire the special prosecutor investigating him and triggered the Saturday Night Massacre. In 2006, a DOJ watchdog found that U.S. attorneys were removed for political reasons, undermining public trust in law enforcement. Each time, prosecutors were pulled into the orbit of presidential power. And now in 2025, we have a president naming political enemies, and within days, federal prosecutors are preparing to indict one of them against prior internal objections and right before the legal deadline. This may be legal, but it is not normal. Because in a constitutional republic, the law should follow evidence, not orders. So here's what we should be asking. What exactly is Comey being accused of, and why now? Were career prosecutors overruled? And will we see the memo, the evidence, and the full charging documents? Will similar cases be handled the same way, regardless of politics? Because if justice becomes a weapon instead of a principle, we all lose. So let me ask you this. If a president can demand the prosecution of his critics, and it happens, where's the line? And did we just cross it? Let me know what you think in the comments.